weren't in the squad on Wednesday at Brentford who will be available this weekend?
Since we are training at 3 o'clock this afternoon, we have to wait in order to finally assess that. As it seems, Luke will still be out for the game. And unfortunately, the same with Victor. There was an incident at his house at game time, and his house was burgled. At the time that the burglars entered the house, his wife and his 2 little children were in the house. I spoke with Victor this morning at length, and right now he just feels that he has to stay at home with his wife and his family, because this was, as we all can imagine, a traumatic event for his wife. And he just asked me to be allowed to stay with his family. And since I have 2 children myself, for me that was more than normal that he wants to stay with his family right now.
Well, that's really sad to hear. Of the likes of Lingard and Wan-Bissaka, are they fit again for this weekend?
Aaron will still be missing. Yes, he's still ill. Jesse resumed back for training yesterday, and he will be training today, so he should be available for the game. And then we have another couple of question marks. We need to see where Jadon stands. He didn't train yesterday because, as you know, he attended the funeral on Wednesday. He didn't want to train yesterday because he was still affected by that. And we will have to see. I will see him for training today, and then speak with him after the training session if he's in a way in a state of mind and in a state of his energy that he can be available for tomorrow. Cristiano is a question mark because he has a problem with his neck. He received treatment yesterday for 2 or 3 hours, and we will have to wait and see how he feels today. Eddie hasn't been training with the team as yet. He will hopefully resume for training today, and we have to take the final decision after the training session today if he will be available for the game tomorrow.
Obviously, Scott took a knock at Brentford. You were hopeful that he will have recovered. How is he looking for the weekend?
Yeah, according to the medical staff, and I spoke to Scotty myself yesterday, he should be back for training today, and I think he will be available tomorrow.
You mentioned before about Bruno now playing at number 8, but how do you see Fred and McTominay's roles? Because it seems that they can play both 6 and 8. How do you see the midfield working?
Well, the only thing in the end we turned that triangle in midfield around and put it upside down. And instead of playing with 2 holding 6s and 1 10, we are now playing with 1 holding 6 with Scotty and 2 8s. And we don't even need to tell the players how they have to interpret that role. This will happen automatically. Bruno will find his spaces in that pocket himself. He's an offensive midfielder. He's maybe even much rather a 10 than an 8, and the same with Fred. But I think for both players, it gives them more, more opportunity, more freedom to play that kind of football where they're good at, both offensively and defensively. Fred is also a player who is probably one of our best ball winners. On the other hand, we have all seen in the last two games how good and how important Bruno can be in possession of the ball, but also defensively. He's always working hard with more than 12 kilometers per game, with the highest distance in the whole game. But at the same time, on the ball, he's somebody who can score goals himself, but also be altruistic enough to see the better placed player, as he did twice at Brentford when he played the ball square to the better teammate, better positioned teammate. In the first instance, it was Mason, and before the third goal, he played the ball to Marcus.
Can I ask you a question about Diogo Dalot as well? Probably for the first time in his United career, he's playing a run of matches. How much is he benefiting from being a regular in the side?
Yes, but this is true with almost every player. If players get game time, they will raise their level of confidence. I think before, until 2 or 3 months ago, he hasn't had that much of game time because in most cases Aaron was playing in that position. Right now he's getting a lot of game time, and we know of all those offensive tools that he has. He's offensively one of the best fullbacks that we could have. He still has space for improvement in defensive actions, in one-on-one duels, in anticipating and closing the gaps between himself and the teammates. There is still space for improvement, but he's still a player who can develop and learn. And so far in the last couple of games he did well, and I was happy with his performance.
West Ham are in the top 4. We go above them with a victory this weekend. So does that show just how important this game is?
Absolutely. Vital game for both teams. We know that we play at home. We also know that we played 2 days ago, but still be able to recover. It's important that we try to show from the very first minute that we are playing at home, that we are playing in front of 75,000, and that we want to win that game. And in order to be able to do that, we need to get control from the very first minute. Not only after 45 minutes as we did against Bradford, we have to do it from the very first minute.
We've actually picked up more points away from home than we have at home. How important is it in this second half of the season that Old Trafford is a fortress?
Of course, very important, even more so that we are allowed to play in front of 75,000. In other countries, this is not possible. I think England right now is the only country where you can still play in front of 75,000 in sold-out stadiums, and therefore we have to take advantage of that. But this is as if you play together 1-2 with the supporters. We cannot expect that the supporters deliver that support no matter what's happening on the pitch. So the first impetus has to come from us, the way that we are playing, the way that we are playing with passion, but also with focus and concentration. And as I said, I think we did well in the most time in the second half at Brentford. We also did well in the first 70 minutes against Aston Villa. And now the job is to show that kind of performance for 80, 90, 95 minutes.
There's a break after this game. Will you get a break? What are your plans before the next game?
Yes, I think it's important. It's the only moment where players and also the staff members can a little bit recover and see their family. I haven't been able to see my family over Christmas. So this is at least a small opportunity to see each other again, and the same will be true with the players. And then we still have a normal week of training in order to get ready and prepare